Yes.
Talk about random.
That's what we do all the time.
Yeah, I think this is fine. Like, that's not a big thing.
Yeah, we just keep it low key.
Cool. Yeah, all good.
Yeah, I'll just make sure everybody's in picture. How do I actually don't know how to pronounce the band name, saying that.
It's just Resist.
Yeah.
Resist, Glasgow Hardcore, that's where you're shorting it.
Yeah. The GHC thing is just like,
Yeah.
do we call us Resist? Like GHC? No, we don't.
Yeah, some
Is this
some
Resist?
people
Like,
actually call us like Resist GC. I'm like, that's not
Glasgow
Yeah.
Hardcore, that's what it stands for, isn't it? Short for
that's
that.
not hard for it.
Because I think the tour called something as well, Hardcore.
Oh, like, did you they're like HXC or something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Hardcore Cross, as it stands for.
Yeah.
Must be.
HXC is hardcore, but it's just like, I don't know, the X just makes it a bit more.
And
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
just makes sure everybody's in picture.
Is it cool?
Just semantics, right? Like,
Yeah, we're straight into the podcast. I need to get in the picture as well.
Yeah, sure.
Outtakes. So make sure we'll do our checks. Hats off, face down,
yeah.
lights on, cameras on.
I've got no hair anyway.
Kicked it, I know.
I'm
Yeah, there's
It's like
that.
half anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got the shorts. Mark got my shorts on as well.
Yeah.
Not shorts.
Your shorts are almost like trousers.
Yeah,
Throw my jeans up.
a couple of his socks in the room today as
Yeah.
well. I just thought we'd spice ourselves up for the nice. We've had some distortionate weather.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
our
it's
bodies.
really nice. Like,
Just enjoy it while it's here.
Yeah, I can't believe we're nearly at 100 episodes now. Yeah, so we got ourselves on the episode there. Or you want to introduce yourselves to the episode? We're on episode 96, I think.
yeah. Alright. Good morning, everyone. My name is Farhan, and I'm the vocalist of Resist.
I'm Joe and I'm the guitarist of Resist.
And do you want to introduce the episode of the podcast?
What did you say?
Episode 96.
Episode 96. Hats off. Hats off, hair down.
That's what we're doing. Don't forget the name because everyone keeps saying it the opposite.
That's why I was like, I'm not just about to say this.
Like hair down, hats
I've
off.
got no hat or hair, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do our checks. Hats are off, hair's down, lights on, cameras are on. John Cena's in the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's here.
Always represent.
It's good that you get the hat as well,
Yeah.
which you should have.
See
And then
it.
take off.
You should have got that one, that's it.
Yeah.
John Cena.
Yeah.
I'm a wrestler, I'm big into wrestling as well.
Yeah, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, during the middle of our set, I do this fucking thing where I'm just, you can't see me, people know.
It's like half the gimmick of the band.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
you
like-
just doing John
It's like,
Cena.
no, just a wrestling guy, I gotta throw some references in there somewhere, you know.
Hell yeah. So, John Cena in the house, Goblin Smoker in the house. It's a bit different.
Oh, is that?
It's a stoner.
Obviously it's a stoner
Yeah.
band.
I was like the fourth
I
one, like
love
as soon as it's
it.
going.
Doom band from Dublin, I think. They played Edinburgh a few times, so a big shout out to these guys. It's also got their band as well. That's their band, Toad King. So if you want to check these guys out, check out Toad King as well.
Don't
Check
think
out.
they did a stoner or something, to be honest.
Yeah,
He's got fucking despise him.
Yeah, just despise.
Despise,
That's
yeah.
go hardcore and just like
shout out to those guys.
stereotype.
They've been around for
A few years now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, shout out to those guys.
Yeah, shout out to
played last night
Despise.
as well. Like that.
Were they?
Amazing. Like it's like that Northern Unpressed pre-show. So
Hell yeah.
I was like, is a
And you got bands like Lights Out as well, haven't you? And,
yes.
you got the tour as well.
Mhm.
So I think the hardcore scene's growing, eh?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like it's really
It's indeed.
proper. Like
Yeah, like,
there's so many like Glasgow bands that like obviously besides like Demonstration of Power and Despise and all that, there's like so many small Glasgow bands
There's-
like that you don't know about. There's just so many gigs.
yeah, we played like a lot of good shows with, you know, Woodhall, Datura, you know, fucking, we got shows coming up with Bloodsport, you know, they're a great band out of
Bloodsport, yeah.
Edinburgh, you know.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of cool stuff happening in
I've
hardcore.
heard the
So,
Digman around a few times.
yeah,
I was going to say like shout out the Woodhall guys because they're
yeah,
like, the
absolutely.
best guys, man.
Big up.
Maybe Turnstile would be there when they get on as well. They can do a headline show.
What like it to be like see Turnstile, you mean like?
Yeah, like maybe they could play Edinburgh with all the
Oh, yeah.
and stuff.
What kind of size of venue would Turnstile play these days?
I don't think Turnstile's almost become like a festival band now. You know?
Yeah.
Like I rarely see them outside of festivals
I agree.
playing, so, you know, like, I don't think Edinburgh's like has the kind of I don't know like are there any festivals here that they they're not really a band that you know you need a hardcore lineup for. They can kind of fit everywhere, like they're playing Primavera, and they do a lot of stuff that are just you know all sorts of genres. So I'm sure like you know if there was a mixed lineup, you know it would be sizable. Terrence is like you know, fucking big, huge, you know.
Yeah. So did we introduce the episode on getting my buzz a bit? With the Resist Glasgow Hardcore.
Yes.
Yeah, so getting a lot of hardcore bands on the show now, I think this should be fine now.
It seems like a growing thing.
I think so, I think any hardcore bands listening, hit me up for the podcast. Kind of style, White Side.
We'll be sharing all this.
God's back. Yeah, share it out, get out there. All the hardcore homies will know them. And I'm wearing my shades on as always.
But you know, no.
Yeah, I just like to look cool on them, so just getting me out there them all the time now.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, how long have you guys been together? And you're fairly new, aren't you?
Yeah, no, but like we haven't been. Well,
depends where you want to start.
Like it's a long journey, but like I'll try to shorten it down.
Yeah.
Long journey, in the sense that it's a long journey for me because I'm new to Scotland in general. I've only been in Scotland for about 1.5 years now, and basically I've had 2 bands back home. One was a tech death band, which is quite different from what we're doing right now, and another was like a blackened crust punk band, if you will. So I was just looking to do something here, you know, like, and I've always been into hardcore, so I was kind of looking for something, either hardcore punk or just hardcore of any sort, really. So just put up an ad for myself on GHC, really. Looking for bands to play in as a vocalist, and so before Resist we had a previous lineup, and the bassist from that lineup, Jamie, shout out to Jamie by the way, he found me and was like, you know, we've got this kind of like, it's like almost metal, well, what would you call it, metallic hardcore, but like mostly more metalcore than metallic hardcore lineup going on. If you'd like to be a part of it. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And that's where I met Joe. Joe was the guitarist of that band. And there was Gabby, you know.
Because he's been on your podcast with another band. I can't remember, it's like, I don't know their name, it's like, starts with a J.
Yeah.
But I watched the episode because I recognised the name. Gabby's in that band.
Yeah. Sugarmore or something, I can't remember.
He's in a track little one now. Yeah.
But it's cool that you've had, he's been on your podcast as well.
The drummer in that band.
Yeah, so Gabby was here, and then, you know, Joaquin joined in. So we had a lineup there, but, you know, it's just, I think we all kind of wanted to head in a different direction creatively, and what ended up happening was because Joe and I were the guys that kind of wanted to do hardcore. You know, we wanted a hardcore band, so you know, we found a new lineup and just started writing. So we've been, and Joe's the main songwriter here, so he can speak better on this. But like when we started writing, maybe October.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I'm trying to think of like the timeline. It's like kind of. I feel was it like May or something, April, and like when we started like the new band, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so, I had like 2 or 3 songs that we kept like institutionalized in that, but we'd been playing from the start. And like Tyrant and stuff. So we've been writing for the very start, really.
Yeah.
But it only really started maybe taking off about October time.
Yeah.
So we had like started getting a set's worth.
Yeah, so we had like a whole set's worth of stuff by, I don't know, like late last year, but you know, we hadn't played any shows yet, and then, you know, we got the call for Moshfest. Ross invited us to play the Moshfest show. And we had a full lineup by then, and we were just like, you know, let's go at it. And you know, things have been going very well since then. So after Moshfest, you know, we've had a lot more opportunities. We played like Woodhall has been kind enough to bring us up to Aberdeen, you know, and their Glasgow EP release show. And then we filled in last minute for Stress Positions. Shout out to fucking Stress Positions. It's such a fucking good band from the US, you know.
And the US.
Yeah, so they were just touring here, and then, you know, like Daniel from Core, he reached out to us like last minute.
Yeah.
And we were like, of course we're gonna fucking make it. And the thing was, it was like, we were going through a lineup change. Our drummer also, like, you know, just creatively didn't feel like it was a good fit. So we just got, you know, Ben from Silkspine, he joined us, and we were like, alright, fucking, let's just do it, you know? And then we played that as well. So and then we got a few shows coming up, quite a few ones. And definitely plans for releases as well, which hopefully we will get into more depth about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick for sure. That's super dope as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just it's good to see this scene growing a bit more now and seeing more bands. Cause I know a lot of hardcore shows are a bit low key as well, aren't they? A bit more low key. The fit
Yeah.
venues.
Yeah, in terms of the size, obviously, like the actual, what would you call it? The energy is not low key, for the most part.
Aye. They do it something like here, like low key venue, like for like a small room like this, and then people get crazy.
Small rooms are the best places to do hardcore shows. I fucking hate hardcore shows in big rooms because I feel like hardcore needs to be in small rooms, where everybody can has the likelihood of getting hurt. So.
We should do one here. Should get a hardcore show in here.
Take all the
take all the paintings are a good idea.
Yeah, it's all about Edinburgh.
People will be doing side to sides, just fucking ramming into these paintings.
Maybe not in this room.
Yeah. Probably need to take them down. You probably need to get in touch with them and see if we can get something in the wings.
Like any size of room, really.
Yeah, because it's sick to do something like this. So since every podcast I've been doing is in here, then we should get like a dedicated hardcore show for this.
That'd be like a cool thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you want to say sponsor it or whatever.
No.
Or just get like a few bands to put.
Yeah, I don't have any sponsors, so I can't say anything. So.
No, like it would be cool if you get in touch with a few bands, you could probably get something together.
Even like promotion companies like Red Cross Promotions could shout to those guys, or I think there's a couple of promotions for Edinburgh, but Red Cross Promotions, maybe you can get in touch with them because they would be a good shout as well.
I can't say it, man, EHHC guys. Is it the ones that I can't
Do
you know what I mean? Like
hardcore scene or something.
they'd be the guys to actually to see about.
I've heard of that name going around actually, because is he the guy from Blood's Bat or something? It's organises it or something.
I'm not sure. I can't remember if it's Reese or Sean, but one of them.
I think it's one of those Portuguese.
Yeah, is it Reese? I think.
Yeah,
maybe Reese.
Like Reese isn't like said as well.
Yeah.
So
there'll be Watson, so. There'll be Watson this back, so hopefully, but shout to them as well.
Yeah.
Do we introduce ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did. My memory's a bit skew with this one.
That's fine.
I was at a gig last night when I was recording this. I went to see Perpetua, and there was those Hellraiser night metal thing that happens every monthly thing. It's quite cool to see bands putting that on.
Yeah.
Well, it's a monthly thing at bands who have them. Then we get a lot more heavier bands like thrash bands, but then you do get the oddball punk band and crust hardcore bands. But mainly metal, just straight up metal. So I think the guy from Dogtide, I don't know if you know Dogtide.
I've heard of them.
Dogtide's from Edinburgh. The guy Rook, shout out to him. I think he puts it on. So shout out to him. He just took some loads of gigs and that. Keeps it old school as well.
Yeah.
Pay on the door. E-tickets,
That's good.
That's it. Straight up, just if you got cash on you, that's the way to go. It's not much of a hassle. I mean, I'm guessing it's just turn up. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't really like the way the ticketing system now. When shows are going now, you have bands tickets and you have to pay them cheaper, but you got the ticket fee, the fee as well. So it's
Even all that aside, I think the big problem is when it doesn't apply to local bands, but I think just shows in general are becoming extremely unaffordable.
Yeah.
Especially with Ticketmaster's little dynamic pricing thing where, I mean, not that I go to a lot of shows that Ticketmaster puts out.
Because
in that sense, I'm lucky because if you're into bands that, bigger bands, like, if you're going to your fucking Slayers or Metallicas or whatever, it's like you're basically selling kidneys to go to shows,
You have to book, if you've got cheaper tickets, you have to book to a certain point, certain space, seated or standing, it's different prices, so it's a bit skew out, but you have to kind of do that.
It's like the best thing I think about being into hardcore is your shows are not really any more than £40.
Yeah,
For, like,
like,
the-
you know, and
the-
you know, like
there's no dynamic pricing.
there's that, but like, you know, if you really want to get into hardcore, and anybody who's watching who might be new to hardcore, you know, hardcore is extremely accessible in the sense that, you know, there you will find a lot of shows that are free, right? You know, like, you know, in Glasgow, you know, venues like Audio Lounge, you know, Stereo, you know, what else? Fucking Block sometimes, you know,
Nice
like a lot of these
sleazies.
venues, yeah, sleazies, like, you know, especially in Block and Audio Lounge, you'll find a lot of free shows that you can kind of just go into, see if it's for you, you know, like. No, I wouldn't say hardcore's for everyone, right? You know, like some people like the energy of it. Some people get, I don't know, turned off or scared by it. You know, there's
Some people think it's a bit too much as well in the small venue, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever ways you go about it, there's no harm in trying something else. If you're, you know, looking to try something out, there's plenty of avenues in Glasgow to, you know, just show up to a hardcore show, and like, you know, even when it's paid, it's like you'll get to see 6-7 bands for like a 10 or 15, you know.
Yeah, that's
very cheap, so
that is
it's
brilliant,
like,
Everybody's
because it's very DIY. It's everyone organizing.
Totally.
Everyone's organizing. Everybody's, you know, like anything to do with the logistics. It's all done by the bands, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a very tight knit community. You know, everyone here supports each other. So, you know, like that. And again, at the end of the day, as much as it's about the music, hardcore is also about the unity. You know, so that's a big part of hardcore, and you know, sometimes a lot of the jumping around and shit that you see, you know, fucking mic grab the vocalist, yell something. It's a part of that unity, right? It's a part of that shared bond that the band shares with, you know, the audience. So that's why in hardcore we like getting up close and personal, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just get off the stage, get off the pro shows as well. Pro shows, as they say as well, would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like the one in Aberdeen's like a floor show, isn't it? Like what we put.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't know, like I mean I've not put that many gigs, like even in this band obviously, or in my general gigging life, not put that many gigs, but like it feels kind of weird being on stage. Do you know what I mean? Like it's you're just looking down on people. It's like nice to just be like
it's nice to be on the same
level,
level,
you know. There is more of a connection that way, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And obviously not having a barrier and stuff, which is you know, you don't want that.
No barriers, all fucking shows.
Straight up.
Ideally not.
Just straight up, everyone can just walk on the stage, jump off on the stage, quite
Grab the mic and
Yeah, but just don't overstay your welcome, you know. Don't fucking like stick around for, you know, half the set or
it's like
whatever,
an unwritten rule.
or half a song.
I feel like bands like
Unless you're doing your thing, you're drain, no?
Was the drain off? The drain thing? Oh yeah, like fucking I completely forgot about that. Like I did.
Like a verse.
Yeah, I did like an entire verse of, you know, what did I do in Living Proof? Yeah, I did an entire verse of Living Proof. So that guy from whatever, like a fucking year ago, is now the vocalist of Resist. You know?
People look back on it.
Yeah.
That was cool, man. But I just basically like just kind of go crazy, you know. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But like, don't be stupid. Is what it comes down to. At hardcore shows, like be aggressive, but like don't target people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get a bit of motion in that as well?
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
all of our shows you
us
have.
personally, like I've had a few. You fucking injured me, like.
I did that.
Damn. Yeah, was that you could like cartwheel me?
Yeah.
Like I'm at the side of the pit, you're in the pit, just like.
Whose set was that on? Like, do you remember?
At the Tudor.
That's what I said.
Shout out to Tudor. Engine in my thumb. But like, yeah, he just does like he's doing his. He's dancing.
See if you see this, I've got a fucking band-aid on right now. This is from like about a month ago at a Woodhull show where I staged that and just the audio lounge carpet is, it's like God knows what the fuck that's made out of. Like it's ate out a chunk of my skin, so it's still recovering. It's been like a month.
It's all sticky in that.
Yeah. God knows, man.
Talk crazy then I see hardcore shows then.
But it's, you know, I mean, you're safer in the pit. I think.
Honestly,
that's what I think. Like any time I've like been hurt, it's been at the side.
Yeah.
I've never been hurt inside the pit. Like you might get like something might hit you in the head, but it's not like a lasting injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you get like knocked out, but you know, fingers crossed.
Yeah, some of them might push it a bit too much as well. Like, so that doesn't get to that point. It's having a good time, having a good fun. And
you can always just stay back though. Like nobody's like, there's no pressure to get in. You know.
Yeah.
It's like it's just like an expression. You know.
Yeah.
everybody is, it's like consensual. Everybody knows like, right, you might get hurt, but like you've kind of consented to that by being in the pit.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw some of your videos on, you got some live sets, haven't you, on your YouTube channel?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw one of your sets and it's quite crazy, yeah, it was hardcore, you know, jumping around, moving around, you know.
Yeah, and I always find it good to get in there myself. So sometimes, you know, like during my set, I'll just kind of come down and fucking mosh myself, mosh to my own music like a fucking mark, you know.
Oh yeah. I think most of the bands do that, hot singer, vocalists in the bands.
Yeah, I mean it's more about just, I like getting down there and feeling the energy, you know, like it's one thing to, you know, sing from a stage, and as Joe was saying, like, you know, it feels weird just kind of looking down on everyone and shit. And then when you're at a floor level, when you're there with everyone moshing, you know, the kind of sense of belonging that you get, or like you know, that's when you truly feel like, you know, people are absorbing your music, or people, you know, are really into it. So, you know.
Yeah, that's it. More pro shows. I know they had some hardcore fight at Legends earlier this year. I can't remember what it was called again, but there was a few.
Yeah, that was the one like Bloodsport and all that.
Yeah.
Like set and all that. But
Yeah.
it seems like packed though. Like I wasn't there
I
unfortunately.
think it was sold out, wasn't it?
Lots of videos and it looks.
Yeah, I think Daikin Films like filmed that as well. So yeah.
Daikai Films.
Daikin,
Yeah, Daikan. Shout out to Daikan.
Oh yeah.
I did get him on the
They're fucking amazing.
There's so much.
I did
like,
get
scene in it.
I did get him on the podcast a while back, Daikan.
He's so good, man. Like he's captured a lot of my best moments. I'm like, you know, well, my best moment, like my personal favorite is, you know, it's not even to do with hardcore. Like I know I'm a hardcore vocalist, but my favorite band pretty much of all time is Death Heaven. You know? So
yeah. He filmed like he films hardcore stuff.
He filmed the Death Heaven gig where I basically crowd surfed into over the barricade, and then fucking George Clark, vocalist of Death Heaven, he saw me kind of doing that, and then my favorite song is Dreamhouse, and I got to sing the last part of Dreamhouse while security's pulling me away. So, you know.
Was the big band then?
Death Heaven's like, I'd say fairly big, yeah. They were supporting a hardcore band called Knock Loose. So.
Knock Loose.
Everybody knows that. But
I think everybody knows Knock Loose. I think they've crossed the boundaries of hardcore
mainstream then.
quite a bit, yeah.
Not in a bad way, obviously. Not like saying.
That's ring a bell, Knock Loose.
Like,
that name.
Been on. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel in it. And
It's also probably just because they feel that like they're like hardcore while also sounding quite metal, you know. There's a lot of breakdowns, but you know, it's chuggy riffs, it's stuff that, you know, anyone can really get into. And I feel like, you know, hardcore that translates well overall usually involves some elements of that. If you think about the bigger hardcore bands like Turnstile or, you know, Knock Loose, Scowl, they all have a sound that's, you know, that incorporates more mainstream elements as well. You know, there's different ways of going about it.
That's sick, for sure.
Yeah.
Like Code Orange as well. I was going to say that earlier.
I quite like Code Orange actually.
Yeah, they've almost like gone in a new metal kind of direction.
I know they got a lot of shit on Reddit for it, but like I don't know, I quite like it.
They're sort of disappeared off the radar for a bit now.
I think they're making a comeback of some sort.
What, Code Orange?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're like.
They're done now.
Not done, but like the singer, like Jamie or whatever, like was on like, you know, the Nick Nocturnal guy.
Yeah.
Like he was doing like an interview with him, and it's like it's like shelved. It's like Reba and all that, like the guitarist is like doing with Marilyn Manson and stuff.
I didn't even know that actually was the case. That
I think they're like
they were a bit lucky about it, weren't they?
I think like stuff just didn't go their way, like especially with the album before, like the last one, Underneath, it was like they released it like the week before like the pandemic, like lockdowns and stuff. And I was like, that's like the worst. And it's amazing.
They couldn't play any shows with live audience when that came out. You know, they did that video of them playing it. And that was, I mean, it was cool, but then doesn't make sense having that. I mean, also it was a long time, and then they released that album. I think the year before last. What was that? Yeah, that was a bit different.
I mean, I don't like it as much as Underneath, but like still got tunes.
more melodic elements to the sound, but it's still.
And still like if you go
Yeah.
like
They seem to play all the old stuff when they're playing live as well, saying that. He's Jamie, is it Jim or something?
Jamie, the singer.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy. He could fit in the hardcore show, no doubt.
I think they're all like the interviews I've seen with them. They're like proper for the hardcore.
Well, I'm guessing when they were under the Code Orange Kids, and that was probably straight
That
up.
was mad. It was like more like converge like style stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing they were quite low key as well. You know, this. I mean, the songs. I think they did a lot of their stuff themselves, didn't they?
Mm.
But no, it's
a shame that they
Yeah, like Code Orange Kids kind of came around during this, I don't know, kind of like the resurgence of hardcore. You know, in the middle there were a lot of hardcore bands, but they weren't getting kind of the level of attention that hardcore is getting now. So you know, like when Code Orange was coming up, you know, also Drain and Knock Loose and all these other bands were kind of coming up together, and then you know, they all kind of brought hardcore to the forefront. So it's been really good for everyone, for the scene in general. I feel like a lot more people are into this than they were even like 5-10 years ago. So,
yeah.
You know.
It's definitely. I've seen that. I've noticed that as well. I've noticed a lot more bands popping up. Like,
yeah.
I know. Like coming back, like metalcore was a bit of a scene back in the day when I started joining it, and then I think doom metal, also doom stoner metal is quite a big thing. And currently, a lot of bands doing that. Stoner sludge metal and doom metal. Like these guys, obviously, shout to Goblin Smoker once again. Like bands like that come to Edinburgh, and then there's like bands from Edinburgh that do stoner sludge metal. It's quite a big thing,
Yeah.
It's like second nature, I guess. Yeah, we get a big scene of stoner. Apart from all the hardcore stuff, we do get a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
Like maybe in Glasgow has a lot more death thrash bands.
Yeah.
Like
Glasgow has a mix of everything, really. Like
seems like it.
I've seen it. There's a lot of death metal shows happening. There's some black metal bands as well. There's quite a lot of hardcore bands.
Yeah. You think pretty much a bit of whatever you want.
I think it's a death metal band called, is it John Death? Don't know if I'm butchering it here, John Death or something, Joe Death, I don't know if I'm butchering it. Yeah, but I think they're a death metal band. I think they're quite big. I think they're doing quite well for themselves, Glasgow bands. And then there's like Render Sunder and WeAreKakihara, and there's a few other Brain Bath as well. It's all kind of old school death metal.
I think so. I heard some of these names, but I've never been like a big death metal guy. Like I dabble in and out, but
I've had phases of everything really. They're not really phases. I still do enjoy everything really. It's not like I'm a hardcore that only listen to hardcore. Like, I was really into like kind of the newer wave of old school Swedish death metal bands like Repuncted, Morbus Crohn, there was the like Tribulation before they got their new sound. So there were quite a lot of really cool sounding death metal bands coming up.
There should be a lot more of that coming along, It's kind of more death. I mean,
and like where I'm from Bangladesh. Like our scene is like very dominated by death metal. I'd say like it's a very small scene anyway, so we don't really separate it based on genres and stuff, because like it's like all of the fucking underground bands together will be like 30 bands or whatever, So but I'd say like a good 80% of them are just death metal bands. So
I need to visit some band. I need to go to places like other places like European countries, and they have a big scene on there. Places like I'll actually be in Italy very soon when this is up, so probably maybe get a wee snippet from the metal. I don't know if I'll be going to gigs or that, but I always wanted to kind of know the metal scene in Italy, because I've been in Italy so many times for vacation and that, and it's a beautiful country.
I've been to Milan. That was brilliant.
Well, I've been a few places in Italy. We go off the rails this week. Well, I'm actually talking about Italy now. So we do a lot of train travelling and stuff. So we look at places, and we just visit places there. I mean, they do have a lot of places like we in Edinburgh. They still have like Doc Martens shops and vans and like shots like that.
Yeah.
You get the odd. I don't know if they have. They have Zara there as well, and Kill and Bear. Some like shots like that, and we have in town here as well. It's
Sorry, just
pretty handy.
so we live in Edinburgh. Shout out to my girlfriend for living in Edinburgh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she goes to the University of Edinburgh. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, we're both from Bangladesh, so we both came here as students.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, as I say, I was talking about that way. Aye, so all the places are quite European, quite kind of like you got all the shops and that.
Yeah.
You got some good train links around to these places.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant experience,
I think so.
yeah, good metal scene there, I think, I reckon as well. If you get a chance to, I'm guessing if I can dive into it a bit more, we probably know more bands.
I'm in Italy.
Yeah.
What's that?
Was it Italy? Yeah.
Italy, yeah.
I'm really into Fulci. That's
I mean, I was going to say, like, when you're talking about death metal, that's like the most recent death metal band I've listened to is like Fulci. Because you guys showed me that.
They're Italian.
Yeah.
Is it, see, like, it's named after is it a horror director?
Yeah, it's like an Italian horror director or something. But yeah, they're Italian.
Yeah, I need to check them out. I never heard of them.
It's kind of like, it's pretty, would you, I mean, I'm not a death metal guy, but it's like kind of old school, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like techie, it's just like,
Yeah, straight up.
I'm more into the straight up side too. Like, if it gets too techie, it's not that I don't enjoy. Like, I mean, necrophagy.
Yeah.
I've had. But
yeah.
For regular listens, I prefer old school.
I like death, like just death.
Yeah.
They're like my favourite death metal band. There's
Yeah.
a few that I listen to, but it's like that's all like this prog death.
Yeah, prog. Yeah, but like tech death as well.
Yeah.
Like the first kind of like early tech death bands.
Like I don't know, like a Cryptopsy, like a tech death band.
Yeah.
Cause like None So Vile,
Yeah.
great album. Like Suffocation, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it got fucking slabs in it, obviously. So it's like it's got breakdowns, so I'm in. But
Suffocation basically a hardcore band.
Suffocation are brilliant. They played Edinburgh. They played at the Bell in Edinburgh.
Yeah, I was there at
Oh, you
the
did?
Glasgow gig. Yeah.
I was at the Edinburgh one last year actually. That was actually really good. It was really packed. But that's the Crowbar. I went to see Crowbar.
Amazing Crowbar. You saw Crowbar, right? Who? Napalm did.
Yeah.
Yeah, my homies into Napalm. He's into old school death as well. Old school death metal.
Like I said, a bit of death metal, but like black metal and stuff never really been my thing really.
I'm into, God knows, I'm into everything really. Be very tough to define, but fucking just imagine everything from like porno grind to like character or body grind to everything. So, and like, but if you're talking about like regular listens, like I honestly listen to more like emo rap than anything. I listen to like my most played artist every year is Lil Peep.
Well, Pete,
So
yeah.
every year, like without question, it's always Lil Peep. So I listen to a lot of God Boy Click, Cold Heart, Lil Tracy, stuff like that. So
yeah, but Pete's not around, no longer around. Pete, But the No Jumper podcast, I think he's been on that.
I mean, he's been dead for a good 7 years now. So
Yeah, he was on that one back in the day now.
Yeah.
But No Jumper is another podcast I've been tuning into lately. So, a lot of like rappers and kind of emo raps and like beats stuff. It's a bit different from what we're doing, but it's a big podcast, huge podcast. I've actually been listening to a few episodes of that actually, and it's just they kind of yak about a lot of things, It's a lot of things about how they started, because they sound like a lot of these rappers start, they're quite low key. I think it's just start making beats in house and that.
Yeah.
Get to what they're doing now, like they're huge, the big names,
It's all like most emo rap or like SoundCloud rappers of that time. That's also very DIY. It's like kind of follows the hardcore spirit.
Suicide Boys and that as well.
Yeah, Suicide Boys are sick as well. So,
Yeah.
But again, like when it comes down to it, I don't necessarily, I don't like generally try to that like devise things with genres anyway, because I feel like genres are pretty malleable at the end of the day, and thinking about music only in terms of genres sort of restricts you. Oh, that's a hardcore band. Oh, that's a death metal band. You can be into whatever. It really just music's about what kind of emotion it evokes in you. So
Yeah.
you know, as long as it's something you fuck with, it's something you fuck with. Like a lot of people, like, you know, even when we, you know, present our genre, sometimes I don't know what to call ourselves. Like we're kind of hardcore. Then we have songs that have, you know, like we have a song called Tyrant that's quite death metal bouncy, and then we have Institutionalized, which has more slam parts. So we're incorporating different elements of all our influences as well. So it's not like, oh, we're just a hardcore band or whatever. I think, and that probably applies to almost every band you'll listen to. Nobody's just one of anything, you know. Everyone's incorporating all their different influences and, you know, lifestyles and experiences in their music. So everything is unique.
That's the way to go.
So it's like we're like a metalcore band basically.
Yeah.
Metalcore. Like it's just metal, but not like, you know, Killswitch Engage, which I like, but I'm just saying it's not that.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's not like melodic metalcore. It's not like 2000s. It's like
I don't do melodic.
Yeah.
Although they're playing with like Hatebreed and stuff, I got tickets for that. So
Yeah.
and Decapitated as well.
Oh yeah. They played quite recently, didn't they?
But like Decapitated.
Yeah.
They might have. I'm not too sure. But like
I don't go, but sometimes you see these guys passing around and you see the gigs and sort of remember them.
sometimes there's just too many gigs, man. Like
Glasgow's good for that, you know.
Yeah. I had to keep up a lot of them as well, the amount of gigs. I felt like almost every night as a gig happening in time, you know.
Like I had no idea Glasgow's like so gig heavy when I first came. I didn't know about it, and then, you know, it's a nice coincidence to be in a city that, you know, it's constantly putting out gigs or of the sort of gigs that I'm into. Like I think last year I went to I've lost count, but probably like a good 30 gigs or so, you know, probably higher than that, honestly. Felt like every week there's something, you know. So.
Yeah, doing it well. I think it was the grassroots ones as well. You kind of lost count the many you've been, but I kind of go out, you know, sort of like almost like every weekend or so, went to a gig, you know. And there's so many happening in Edinburgh, you know, as well. Like grassroots stuff is quite big.
Yeah.
Like Perpetua was there last night or a few days ago when this is up, so they were brilliant. It's good to see Perpetua back. They're very good. They got great sound as well. I mean, you guys could play big shows, you know.
Yeah.
Feel me on that. So it's just they're doing pretty well. I mean,
Yeah.
but I think they're not sure if they're a based band, but I think they're based in Scotland. I think the members sort of sporadic, a bit slack over the place, you know. So yeah, but Scottish band, Scottish kind of metalcore, groove metal band. Yeah, they've been around for a while, but then they split and then came back. And then I think the other band, I didn't stay for the whole gig actually last night when I'm recording, but there's a band called Primary Vices, that's another stoner strud band from Edinburgh. I think they headlined it. Just big band, well, doing pretty well. It's good to see them again, and they had a line-up trained as well. So that's been, that's good to see them back again. And there was a Newcastle band, I think they're called Buzz or something, and BOZ or something, the short. They're like kind of thrashy death metal, like that was pretty heavy. And I think the opening band, I can't remember what they're called again, from Brighton, I think they're called Trouble or something. So they were decent as well. Punky comedy, something funny comedy bits in it as well. So bit of a various stuff at that Hellways of that night there.
That's cool.
Do you want to talk about if you got any? You were talking about the music here. Do you have like an EP or that you?
Yeah. So we do have an EP in the works. We haven't decided on how many songs, but we have an idea. We won't reveal it yet. But you know, we will have a single coming up. If you've been to our show, you probably know And the Occupation. Before that, maybe probably best to put a bit of background on what Resist writes about. So, you know, like Joe's main guy when it comes to songwriting and everything. I'm vocalist, lyricist, so, you know, thematically I kind of do, you know, everything I write about is usually the name kind of implies in this resist. It's about rebellions. So it's a lot of it is to do with the atrocities of the world and kind of standing up against that. So to me at least, there's nothing more important than standing up for Palestine right now. So and the occupations, that's what it's about. It's about a free Palestine. It's about that struggle. It's about fucking. I don't even know how to get into it because the scale of it is so devastating, and even today, there's no respite. There's literally no fucking food in Gaza right now. There hasn't been in almost close to a month, and people are going through forced starvation. So we do what we can to raise awareness about it, and I try to say bring it up every show because I think it's something that should always be at the back of our mind. But yeah, our first single will be In the Occupation. That's a song that I feel like a lot of people feel a connection to, and we do personally as well. So that'll be our first single. We are in the process of recording it, and that should get to you sooner rather than later. Let's say that. We don't have a release date yet, but should be fairly soon.
Yeah.
And then after that, we are also working on our EP, which will be, what would you say, 3-track, 4-track, 5? I mean, we've got quite a few in the bag.
Maybe 10 tracks.
It's a hardcore band, 10 tracks would be like a 20-minute.
Everything's an EP.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, we should probably, maybe do 4 or 5. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Well, but at least 3, obviously. But
absolutely.
We kind of know what. Do you know what I mean? We've kind of decided these are the most important ones, so we'll kind of decide.
Yeah.
So all that's been decided. It's been in the we've been at the back of our mind for a bit because we've played we played 4 or 5 shows by now, and then we've got a lot more coming up. So obviously, having some released material to go along with it would definitely go a long way. So no, it's definitely in the works, and we will have our EP out. I don't know if I wanna say a date here, but we're definitely within Q3 of this year, so should be fairly soon.
Yeah.
Expected within the next 5-6 months or so.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So I'm guessing if this is on, I'm guessing if it's only less than 20 minutes long, I'm guessing you guys probably hardcore bands. I think with that length of time, I guess they play 20-minute sets and shows. So, very short, I guess.
Our set is 20 minutes if we really drag it. I don't think we play it 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Fucking, if we just ram through our songs, it's probably 12 minutes.
So the other thing is, got a lot of hardcore, they are quite low key and short in that as well. If you had to kind of catch you guys at the last minute as well, so you're on the way as well.
As soon as you start, it's done.
It's done and dusted as soon as you get in,
I mean, that's what I like about hardcore, it's just a short blast.
Yeah.
You don't overstay your welcome. You can get your point across. Napalm Death got their point across in 3 seconds. So you can always get your point across.
Yeah. Maybe that's how you can get what hardcore bands to play in the set, for an all day. You can probably get 12, 13 bands,
On that Mosh Fest, we had 10, 11 bands in it.
Yeah,
because they're playing short sets.
Every 20 minutes. So. I don't think a hardcore set should be longer than 30 minutes. Unless
what would you do for longer than 30 minutes?
Unless you're not close, but it kind of works.
Yeah.
But if you're just a normal hardcore band, then 30 minutes is too much. Or after 30 minutes is too much.
Because probably the other case songs that are probably less than a minute long or 2 minutes long or something.
Definitely less than
Even
3 minutes.
30 seconds.
Our longest song is probably about 3 minutes. Tyrant is probably our longest song. That's about 3 minutes or so.
Everything else is just over 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, it's good.
That's a sweet spot. 1.5 minute to 2 minute. Don't overstay your welcome.
You really don't need that much.
Yeah.
2-step parts, mosh parts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just go hard for that 2 minutes. Take a 30-second break. Go hard again. So it's kind of like wrestling. Whenever you talk about wrestling is kind of thought of in terms of peaks and troughs. So it's just peaks and troughs. That's kind of hardcore as well. So you build up your sequence. You get to your.
Yeah. So do you like wrestling? I guess then.
Oh yeah, I love wrestling. It's a big part of It's most people just know me as 3 things. One is my pharma career, and then I've got music, and then I've got wrestling. That's kind of like the triangle, you know.
Oh yeah. But I like metal, I like wrestling, you know,
Yeah.
we're sort of in the same boat, eh?
Yeah.
Do you like local wrestling? Like
Oh yeah, like the local wrestling's really good in Glasgow. So
W.
there's ICW, there's Iron Girders Pro Wrestling. So Iron Girders is actually where I trained for a while. I've always wanted to be a wrestler really, but because I'm from Bangladesh, we don't really have, you know, wrestling's not people enjoy wrestling there, but it's not like there's no training schools or like promotions or things like that. So you know, in Glasgow I just saw an opportunity. And, like, you know, I trained at Iron Girders for a while, for about 6 months, but then just got busy with Resist, got busy with my work. But you know, I've learned a lot there. You know, under Kez, BT Gun, you might know BT Gun.
BT Gun,
yeah,
just
and Kez, yeah, you know, so
Wolfgang.
yeah, so that Iron Girders is actually owned by Wolfgang.
Is
So,
that he owns that?
Yeah, he actually owns that. So, you know, I trained there for a while, had a great time, you know, got the bruises to show it. And then, you know, I had to lay it low for a while because of work and stuff. But now I've joined another training school called Community Pro Wrestling that's based out of Govan in Glasgow, run by Ravy Davey. So, you know, shout out to them.
So you might be a wrestler one day.
Yeah.
You have to see him set up.
Hopefully, you know, maybe we'll do some wrestling at Resist shows as well, you know, fuck it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, throw somebody off the stage with a suplex or something, I don't know.
Get Jack Dester to come along.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Parker Cannon's already on it, the no pressure guy. I say the no pressure guy, the story so far is not more bigger than that. He's fucking drop kicked people off stages already.
Great deal as well.
Yeah.
There's also Discovery Wrestling in Edinburgh as well.
Oh yeah, Joe Henry's.
Joe Henry's,
Yeah.
my schoolmate actually wrestles in that as well. I think he's under Rob Mills is his stage name.
Yeah.
But,
We believe in Joe Henry.
Yeah, that's it. Has he not been WWE now?
Yeah, he was at fucking WrestleMania. So.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He's big.
He's huge now.
He's huge.
So he was in Impact Wrestling for a bit as well.
He's still in Impact, so he's their world champ. So.
But does he show it sometimes comes to back home sometimes, eh?
Yeah. Now Scotland has a great, you know.
Because I know that Drew McIntyre, he's stuck with WWE. He's still contracted, isn't
Yeah, and he's really big as well. I think Drew's really that.
But you don't really see Drew McIntyre showing up to indie now.
He has actually, like, you know, last year there was a big event in Glasgow called Clash of the Castle.
Oh, like that was the one I was thinking.
The WWE pay-per-view. So he actually showed up at an ICW show that very night.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So, you know, like, he still has love for the game, love for the country, you know.
Yeah, man, it'd be good if he went back to the Indies again. You know?
Yeah.
You know, like I used to like I watched Impact Wrestling for a while, but then that went down hell a lot.
Yeah.
EEW, I don't know how that's faring, and that's went down a bit as well. I think just generally, I think wrestling has just changed a little bit. That's just my opinion on it. It's maybe just different audience, you know, it's all catered to like youngsters and, you know, adults and that, you know.
I feel like there was a phase for that around like the 2010s, but I think wrestling's making it. Yeah, but I think these days wrestling's like kind of making a comeback in the mainstream again. You see a lot.
It'd be good if they do like a War's War kind of like, you know, full on straight up, you know.
Yeah.
Like a sort of a 2.0, you know, have it, you know, dedicated to adults and that, and just see all the proper stuff.
That's probably never gonna happen again. I feel like wrestling's going out of
Got
that.
like your indies or like your backyard stuff. Like
I mean, there's stuff for everything.
Like,
like you know, even in Scotland, you have like, you know, I don't know if you're into ultraviolet wrestling, but like, you know, there's like ultraviolet wrestling in Scotland. Like I went to a Bleeding Gum show a few.
Is that with all the thumbtacks and all that?
Oh yeah, fucking forget thumbtacks, like people getting weed whackers and like fucking, you know, just like spikes on their head, all sorts of shit, glass, you know. It's crazy. You know, fucking, I went to that Bleeding Gum show, like just pints of blood everywhere, like literally everywhere you see. Wow. It's not just the ring itself. You go outside the ring where people are standing, there's blood, glass, all sorts of random shit everywhere.
But they must want to do it. They must.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's the same thing in music. It's the same thing in wrestling.
It's quite metal. They're both connected to metal, I guess. You know.
Yeah, and there's always like, you know, the same thing in metal, same thing in wrestling. There's always something for you, you know.
Yeah.
If you whether you're into ultraviolent wrestling or lucha libre or more technical British wrestling, there's something for you. Same thing in metal, same thing in hardcore. Even
Yeah.
hardcore is very diversified. It's not just like
Yeah.
there's a lot of hardcore bands that are more metallic. I'd say we're more metallic in general.
Yeah.
There's the more punkier side of hardcore where it's more like 80s hardcore punk. There's kind of the New York hardcore style. So even in hardcore, it's so diversified.
Hell yeah. Yeah. It's been quite good to chat about a lot of things here. I was just going to just talk about something else, but I think it's just actually went in my mind now. But there's something I was going to say, but what was I going to say again? I was saying, I did have it in my mind, but then it'll come back to me in 2 seconds. I've got, and you know the band Kakihara, don't you? Another band I could
I've heard of them, yeah.
I'll shout out to those guys because they're an end of metallic hardcore band.
Yeah.
And they actually play off the stage and that they stand on the stage or stand on the floor, as they say, not on the stage, sorry.
Slipknot guy does that.
Yeah.
Who's Slipknot has been on your podcast?
Yeah, they've been on that.
Yeah, Slipknot's sick.
I guess there's been like 3 hardcore bands so far, but it's quite hard to get everyone on it. But hopefully we'll get some more on, even Bloodsplat and White Side, and it's even. I was trying to think, there's plenty of hardcore bands out there.
Get the Woodhill guys on it.
Yeah.
I see them further away than us. That's like Port Glasgow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's like a big journey. But no, they'd be great to get on. Lovely guys.
Yeah, there's so many out there, and then there'll probably be more bands, so more hardcore bands will start up as well, and
I know. To be honest, you'd have no shortage. I think if we were to do like a dedicated hardcore podcast, you could probably do tens of episodes with that as well. Do you know what I mean? So there's definitely plenty of bands out there.
Yeah, so I should have a wee dedication at some point, but it's all in the same. We kind of say it, and it's all kind of in the same boat anyway. All the episodes, but we'll just see what comes next, I guess. If you actually watched my last episode, like believe it or not, I had my first international band on the podcast. So if you go to the previous episodes once a week, Norwegian, all the way from Norway. So we might break even. We might even go to Italy, or we might even go to the United States.
Take the podcast on too.
Hopefully, that's the plan. Well, if they come here on the tour, we can do it in here. So
that's what you do. Hit people up in it.
That's it. Just if they're gonna come to Edinburgh for a show, or come or even either way, come for a few days. Hit them up. See what happens.
You don't ask, you don't get.
So
you may as well just ask.
It can be a bit hard sometimes with our schedule, but that's it. Sometimes that's the way it goes. But most of the time I can get them give it a few weeks in advance and hit them up. Arrange it. Then it's good on. It's all good. But sometimes you can't find these bands in the time. So I know.
Especially if they're like you're saying like a touring band where it's like you just got like a day.
Yeah,
even if I can do it before a show.
Even if I can even find this band in the right time, just like the day before, and then I'll see this band. I've got a couple of days between the tours and that days off. Just that would make sense to hit them up.
It's like a bit of what just happens if it happens, I suppose, isn't it? Like you just kind of got to go with the flow.
Aye, totally indeed. I don't know if we should talk about our trip, what we're wearing on, band t-shirts and that. I think we just talked about that earlier at the start, but Goblin Smoke Out. But I want to talk about the bottom as well. I've got my baggy pants, baggy jocks.
I'll get in there.
I've got
I'm not a straight fit guy, not like full baggy yet, but
got my skater stuff on because I look like I've been skating again. Well,
do you have that many band tops? I don't really see you wearing band merch.
I don't know. I've got a weird relationship with merch where I'm just like I do have a lot of band merch, but I also literally just don't like wearing black all the time. So and most band merch just comes in black, and like especially on a nice weather like this, wearing black is kind of uncomfortable, to be honest. So I just I wear whatever I'm comfortable in. Like even my fit, I don't know if I can put these fake Travis Scotts on. There's people who come going, oh my god, you son, your Travis Scotts are so nice. Yeah, they're like 30 pounds from Bangladesh, bro. So they're not your fucking whatever. God knows how expensive they are. So my fit. I don't know. I don't put a lot of thought into it. It's like whatever I'm comfortable in.
Yeah.
That's actually what I go for.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just like I'm starting to collect, not like deliberately collect, but like ones of them shirts. So it's just that's what's there most of the time.
Yeah.
It's good to create a lot of these band t-shirts when you go to shows and that. Like, I do have a big wardrobe of local grassroots stuff now.
Definitely always support your local bands.
Yeah.
And merch is like one of the few ways they make money. There's not a lot of money going around in the scene, so always support them however you
I
can.
do try and make an effort to like when it's local bands we play with, like get some of their merch in it, because I feel that's the most important.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any merch stuff that you got?
I'm thinking about it, so it's in the works.
I
have some designs in mind. We're currently discussing how to get them done. There are different ways to do about it, and I've already mentioned I'm from Bangladesh, and if you know anything about Bangladesh, what you probably know is most of your t-shirts are made there, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at the back of the t-shirt you're wearing right now, it's probably from Bangladesh. So it'll be cheaper if we could just make the Resist shirts there as well. Probably better quality as well, so you probably like it more. So I'll see what I can do there. But merch will be coming, whether it's from Bangladesh or from Glasgow or from fucking Norway or wherever. Merch is coming. Yes, there will be merch.
It's kind of like with the EP and all that. It's like because we're fairly new, so it's like we're kind of at that point where we've got to start putting like stuff that people can consume. That besides coming to a show.
Yeah, it's always been the plan, but I think like our trajectory, if you will, like the kind of shows we played and the response we've gotten and the shows we have coming up, it's better than we thought it would be. So a lot of these plans have been accelerated. Yes, so the EP, the merch, everything will be coming sooner than we initially thought.
So brilliant, guys. That's very good.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can maybe chat before we kind of wrap up? I guess maybe we could chat a few things before we wrap up. But what do you think?
Try to think about it.
Any upcoming
I mean,
dates?
I could just be like, I'm going to Northern Fest later, listen to loads of hardcore bands, basically not that people need to hear it really if they're into Scottish hardcore, but obviously Northern Unrest put a kind of festival together in Glasgow, so around this time of year, so
Who's
if
playing?
you're into hardcore, so many bands, mostly American hardcore bands, but All Out War, Big Boy, we get Fatal Realm, all these American hardcore bands.
Shout to all these hardcore bands as well.
Nothing But Enemies, Glasgow hardcore band, they're playing it. Tomorrow it's By My Hands, they're OG hardcore from Glasgow. You got Bathed in Sin as well. There's a few Glasgow.
It's Bathed in Sin, they recently released their EP, it was so good.
Yeah. So it's
if you're into hardcore,
it's if you want, it's Outtakes, obviously the British hardcore festival. This is a wee Scotland's wee version of that.
Yeah, because Outbreak is the bigger one they do down in Manchester, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like the epicenter of hardcore is Outbreak. It's like Downland Festival of hardcore.
Basically, it's the mecca of hardcore.
The mecca,
pretty much. So.
And it's this is the Scottish version of that. So
So
people should definitely obviously go if they can get a ticket. It's sold out in 5 minutes though. So it's,
where is that about? Do you know where it is?
It's at Woodside Halls in Maryhill.
Is that?
Yeah. So
it's not somewhere but
near Charing Cross.
Yeah, it's somewhere a bit different. It's not where somewhere recognisable.
No, it's just a community hall.
Something like that.
Put some amps in and a PA and
hell yeah.
People moshing.
Hell yeah, that's dope. So that's good. Any upcoming gigs?
In terms of our shows, we've got quite a few coming up. Next week, we're playing Glasgow Audio Lounge with. I'm forgetting the lineup right now. Yeah.
Cal's Feedback.
Yeah, and Cram, yeah. So shout out to those guys. They're all great bands. And then we've got a show coming up in Block, which will be on the 3rd of June.
Sure.
That's with Bloodsport, Edinburgh Hardcore,
Yeah.
and then Mary as well. And then after that, we've got probably our biggest gig to date, and something I'm really looking forward to. There's a band called Heavy Hitter from
Orlando.
from Florida, and they're doing their UK tour, so we will be supporting them for their Glasgow gig as well.
Hell yeah.
So we've got these 3 coming up. There's other gigs in the works for August, September, and possibly beyond as well. So there will be a lot of opportunities to see us, come down. The Block one's free, so like if you've never heard of us before, if you've never heard any hardcore bands before, it could be a good chance to get some exposure. It's free. Come up, have some pizza, have a drink. Possibly get punched in the face, but hopefully not. You can just stand at the back. That's not what we're into. So it'll be a good time.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure. What else to kind of talk about, like in terms of band stuff as well? Like it's mostly just EP.
Yeah,
Merch.
there's EP, there's merch, there's shows. What else do bands do? I don't know if there's.
Tours up.
What else do bands do?
Big tours.
Big tours aren't fucking in the plans right now, but if you want us for a big tour, anybody watching this,
if anybody's in England, please book us. To come play like Newcastle or Manchester or even London.
We'll play what, like I always say, I'm down to play whatever, birthdays, funerals, fucking whatever.
Who knows kids?
Down for everything.
Maybe a church band as well.
Yeah.
That'd be something a bit different,
Yeah.
I'll play anywhere. I'll play for free, Do you know what I mean? Like as long as people show up.
It's just fun, right?
I don't care.
Exactly, that's it. It's
you can play the marquee just like here as well, so if you want to hit...
It's just the fun of it, obviously, if you're making underground music, you're not doing it for the money. You're possibly not doing it for the fame. What you just want is people to just mosh hard, fuck with it, and again, for me, a big part of it is because, I write music about topics I care about and social issues, so I want to send a greater message through my music, so that's also an important part of it.
Right. Well, I think that's I'm guessing that'll be a lot for you guys, but maybe the last thing we could talk about is where you can find your social medias and all that, where you can hit you guys up.
Yeah, you can grab us everywhere. We're on Instagram, Resist.ghc. I can't remember what our YouTube at is, but it'll just be. It's just just look up Resist.
GHC on Facebook as well.
I'll probably could add the GHC to the podcast name, the name of the podcast, so it's a bit easier to know it's not under a bit of a confusing name,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any Resist hardcore bands outside of GHC, so hopefully we're the only one. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'll just I'll add it to the name.
Yeah, sounds good, mate.
Because a lot of bands do call themselves under hardcore. Under dot, that's I've seen that going around now. So even Bloodspat or maybe Brady Taco or something at the end of the name as well.
I think so. I think they're quite different because it's just initial, isn't it? Like BODS.
I did see you. I'm sure I saw Bloodspat one day at Legends. I'm sure I did. Got to see them again because it's been a minute since I last seen them, so hopefully they'll be back. Even if it's more Edinburgh hardcore shows, I'm down for that. But you go to local ones.
I know there's definitely loads. Yeah, I mean, the if you got the AHHC promotions and stuff.
Well, you probably could put Edinburgh ones on, no doubt. That's probably the best one.
Edinburgh bands through Glasgow more, like Bloodsport coming through and stuff. So
hell yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, well, I guess it's been a wrap to get you guys on. It's been really good to get you guys back on the podcast. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for coming on.
Excellent.
We can give you a couple of fist bumps for the end. Every time fist bumps, boom, and then I'll just slow rock the camera. This is how we do it every time. Low key, and I'll just say peace out. I'll just say peace out to you guys at the end. Peace out. Signing off now.